Welcome to Twin City Talk on Location. I'm Suzy Fielders
Burgess Jenkins.
And we are with Front Street Capital.
Jane Duncan, Director of Marketing.
Coleman team, I'm the president of Front Street.
And Front Street Capital is the sort of mastermind, I guess, behind the grounds, which you can see behind us. The grounds is a great new destination. I feel like that's probably the best word that's coming to Winston, and they're going to tell us a little more. Coleman, can you tell us a little about how you got involved with this and your vision for this destination?
I'll keep this as short as I can. Front Street and a firm out of Atlanta called Carter, who has some history doing projects like this, we came together to respond to a RFP that Wake Forest put out to attract developers from all around the country to bid on this project. We bid on the project and ultimately won that, and that started a multi-year planning process. When you have 100 acres of property that has largely been 8,000 to 10,000 empty parking spaces, it takes a while on the setup side of this. We've hired some of the best people from around the country to help us master plan this project. We certainly cannot take credit for the vision and all of it in its entirety. There's a lot of leadership behind Wake Forest and our project partners that have helped bring this to what you see today. So the vision is truly coming to life, literally behind us, and it's been really wonderful for our company to be a part of something that is so transformational, not just for Wake Forest, but truly for the Winston-Salem community.
About the grounds as far as what people can expect to come to the community?
Yeah, so the grounds is really a model of master plan mixed use. So right here, we've got the office building going up. That'll be home to non-academic facing Wake Forest offices, think advancement, legal, IT. Back here, we've got student apartments, so multifamily purpose built for students. But probably the thing that Winston-Salem gets the most excited about and asks us about a lot is the retail village, which is right here in the distance. We'll break ground on that later this summer. You can see it bound by the retaining walls that have gone up there. But that's 42,000 square feet of really experiential retail. So 5 different buildings, different elevations, lots of patios, gathering spaces, some rooftop bars, rooftop components, which everyone's really excited about. Right now it leans a little heavy food and beverage. So lots of demand, both from the city and incoming tenants, to really bring some new experiential dining opportunities, everything from grabbing a cup of coffee, some ice cream, some breakfast sandwiches, sports bar, to some really neat fine dining opportunities.
Will it be mostly locally owned, not chains?
Yes, so our retail strategy is really focused on local and regional concepts. So not to say there won't be places that have multiple locations around the southeast or the country, but they feel like they have a lot of character and culture to them, as well as some local concepts that will be starting new operations here.
I know you can't really reveal a lot yet, but if you can't expand on what some of the shops are going to be like, I know you've said that there'll be rooftop bars and there'll be, the experiential spaces like that. But in terms of, when we think about other places in the country that are doing things like this, can you speak to maybe what that experience would be like?
Yeah, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So the design specifically sets the tone for what we're trying to create here. It is not a one building, one story shopping mall. You have 5 buildings, all varying heights, all various activations, with tons of investment in and around them. So Winston-Salem thrives on indoor, outdoor, leveraging our climate, getting people out there, attracting people all day long. And this is truly across all generations. These are children that we have, all the way up to grandparents, college students, people in the community that can come and be and stay for a long period of time. The retail strategy is not to create a transactional place where you come and grab a coffee and leave, but you can grab a coffee and you can sit. You can enjoy something that may be happening in the park. You can enjoy something that could be on the walking trail for you to go experience. The waterway that will truly be a really beautiful water feature. The goal there is to create that experience, that destination. Mm-hmm. So you are going to have anything from a bagel sandwich all the way up to a fine dining Italian restaurant, and everything in between. So we're really thriving on indoor, outdoor, very active spaces that give people a reason to stick around.
Was the design inspired by anywhere else?
We've toured these places all over the country. What we're trying to not be is somewhere else that we've seen. There's going to be elements that you see that obviously we're not reinventing the wheel, we're building real estate. But the goal here is this is not Starbucks and Chipotle. No offense to those groups, I'm there all the time, but these are like authentic placemaking that Winston-Salem will resonate with. Whether that's in architecture or history or activation, it's got to feel authentically Winston. No matter if you're here for a tractor pull at the fairgrounds or you're going to a Wake football game, you have to walk into this retail village and feel like this was built for me. And that's what we're trying to create with the retailers and just the entire experience.
I love that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Silas Creek, which is much more than a road. A lot of people might not realize that.
Love that that's catching on.
That's our joke that we say. So what's funny is from where we're standing, when it's 100 yards away, Jane and I have been coming to this area for 40 years now. You can barely even tell there was a creek there. Not only was there a creek there, but it had experienced decades of basically stormwater runoff. It was 35 feet deep in some places, completely taken over by invasive species. And the goal was, how do we leverage this creek as a way to attract people and give it some kind of beautified staying power? Not just to build the creek, but also incorporate walking trails and things around us. And now you have a completely rebuilt Silas Creek. Everything from the waterway to bringing it up to a certain level. It will be flanked on both sides by walking trails. And it is beautiful running stream. And we've had a drought, and you can see it's now full of water and flowing. So it's a really exciting water feature that will really complement this area really well.
And then you're mostly bringing only native species.
Yep, so we've worked with amazing partners at McAdams Engineering to really drive landscape design that's going to continue to grow and thrive and develop on its own over the years. So 99.7% native plantings across tens of thousands of shrubs and trees and plants and flowers that are going in, as well as some wildflower seeds getting scattered to kind of see what happens and what develops in a really natural way.
How do you avoid the invasive plants not coming back? Is it just maintenance basically that will?
Yeah, maintenance and management of the area.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you can share with the community that you want them to know about the grounds?
I think what's enlightening, and certainly for us when we started this project, was realizing the magnitude of the number of people that come here all the time. This is not just a destination football location. There are 800,000 to 1 million people a year that come here for small events, big events, and everything in between. So literally, this area has been, again, 8,000 to 10,000 blighted empty parking lots that a lot of people come here already. So bringing this place to life for those people, and it is a demographic that represents the entirety of Winston-Salem and really the entirety of Northwest North Carolina. So what we're doing here is we're taking an area that people already come to, and people don't realize that 800,000 to 1 million people come here. They don't realize how many events are actually here. There's over 200 event days that actually happen here a year. So having that as a baseline and then elevating people's experience when they come here is something that we think the grounds, the beautiful unintended consequence that people may not realize that happens every day.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
Being done.
Don't know if that'll ever happen.
I think Winston needs more third places. You have your home, you have where you go to work, you have your standard places, but like, what is that third place that inspires you as a community citizen, that if somebody's coming here from out of town that you go show off, that can drive, both vitality for the community, but really economic development.
Yeah.
What this is represents $1.3 billion in economic impact over just the first 10 years of this project. That is tax base that has never come here. These are untaxable parking lots. We're generating over $45 million in net new tax base to the city and the county, so that we can go then pay for more things like education and public safety and all the things that we need to invest in our community. So this is more than just some retail buildings and an office building. This is economic vitality for this region.
And as of right now, what's the tentative timeline?
We're going to call it throughout the summer and early fall of next year, so 2027.
Gotcha. Well, thank you guys.
What about the name? Well, hang on one second. What about the name? Where did the grounds come from?
I'll let Jane start there. No one likes the naming process. It's terrible.
Naming, you compare it to, and actually leadership at the Variable who worked with us in the naming and branding process compared it to like you're naming your unborn child, right? You haven't seen what they look like. You might not know if it's a boy or a girl. You don't know which parent they favor. You haven't finished design, right? You don't know exactly what it's going to be. But I think the brief in that naming process was, one, this needs to feel like it belongs to the city of Winston-Salem and to Northwest North Carolina, not to any one entity as part of that. And then two, it is a place you come and stay. So what feels like something that, isn't transactional, but really feels like something that's going to pull you in and be a place that you spend time. It's a name that exists in some other places, right? It's also very hard to name something that has never existed before, but we'll be able to make it our own, right? Just like, a child named Suzy lives into her identity as Suzy. That's really what we see the grounds doing, and it's felt right as it's come together because of the diversity of the experiences that you'll have here.
What will be fun is the name the grounds will mean something 2 years from now.
Yeah.
What you experience, it will breathe life into when someone hears the grounds, what that interpretation of that name is. I think as important as what the name is, which is very agnostic, is what the name is not. And what it is not is Deep Town. This is not Wake Forest Complex. It is something that is meant to breed a sense of democratization of this area that Winston-Salem can own. And this is not about it being in the middle of all the Wake Forest facilities. So I'm excited to watch this name take on what it will mean in a couple of years in this community.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. One last question, and you can choose whether or not you want to keep this one in. As it relates to Wake, and there being a lot of publicity about that, and the feature that came out in the Times today,
Today.
How is that spearheading so much of what's happening across the country? And if you speak to the relationship with Wake and the impact that's having.
This project does not have this level of growth this quickly, but for the leadership of Wake Forest. It takes a lot of courageous leadership to take this bet and start a process that will largely reshape the face of Wake Forest. It will shape how people interact, not just athletics, but 25 to 30,000 people a year come to Winston-Salem just to put eyeballs on that campus.
Yeah.
So this will shape people's interaction. And from President Susan Wente to Athletic Director John Curry to CFO Dr. Travisano, these are leaders who have taken a very bold step and understanding that they have a duty for these empty parking lots. They have a responsibility to help Wake Forest play a role in shaping Winston-Salem, and they've taken that very seriously. We are obviously helping push this as hard as we can, but I would say without that leadership and without the leadership on the state level and the city level, this project does not happen.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.